Imagine this. It's the early 1600s. You are a woman in a small village in Europe. The world around you feels both familiar and terrifying. Your home is a single-room cottage. The walls are rough stone. The roof leaks when it rains. The smell of smoke and damp wood fills the air. You are poor, like most of your neighbors. You rise at dawn, fetch water from the well, and tend to the fire before anyone else wakes. Life is hard, but for you, it is about to become much harder. Because in this age, almost anyone can be accused of being a witch. You make a living by helping others. Maybe you are a midwife, delivering babies. Maybe you are skilled in herbs, mixing remedies for headaches or fevers. Or maybe you are simply old, poor, and live alone. These things in the 1600s make you dangerous. Why? Because people are terrified of the unknown. They believe illness, failed crops, or sudden storms are not accidents, but curses. And curses need someone to blame. One day a neighbor's cow dies, another's child falls sick. Or maybe you spoke out too loudly against a wealthy villager. That's all it takes. A whisper begins. She has the evil eye. She is a witch. You hear these rumors, but at first you ignore them. You have more pressing worries. Keeping food on the table, patching the roof, staying alive through the winter. But the whispers grow louder. The church in this era holds enormous power. Priests preach about the devil every week. They warn that witches live among the faithful, corrupting them. And in the 1600s, Europe is obsessed with finding these witches. The fear is everywhere. Pamphlets circulate describing witches flying at night, eating children, and meeting the devil in secret pacts. People believe it because fear spreads faster than reason. So when someone points at you, calling you a witch, the community listens. It starts with a knock on your door. Two men stand outside, local officials. They tell you that you must come with them. Your heart sinks. You know what this means. You are dragged from your home, not given time to gather belongings. The neighbors stare as you are led away. Some look fearful, others satisfied. Already in their minds, you are guilty. You are brought before the local magistrate. The questions begin. Do you serve the devil? Do you own a familiar spirit, like a cat or a toad? Do you fly at night? At first you deny everything. Of course you do. But your answers do not matter. The more you resist, the more suspicious you appear. Sometimes the court uses tests. One is the swimming test. They tie your hands and feet and throw you into water. If you float, you are guilty, because water rejects a witch. If you sink, you are innocent. But you might drown before anyone pulls you out. In many parts of Europe, torture is considered a valid way to find the truth. They may strap you to a chair with spikes. They may stretch your body on the rack until your joints pop. They may burn your skin with irons. And eventually, after days of agony, you confess. Not because it is true, but because it is the only way to end the pain. You admit to meeting the devil. You admit to flying through the night on a broom. You admit to poisoning cattle and cursing neighbors. The words pour out, rehearsed by your interrogators. Your fate is sealed. After your confession, you are thrown into a cold, damp cell. Rats scurry along the floor. The straw you sleep on stinks of rot. You have little food. Maybe a crust of bread, maybe a cup of water. You pray, you cry. You think of your family, if you have one, but mostly you wait. Wait for the trial. Wait for the end. Your trial is a spectacle. The villagers gather in the square. They want to see the witch. Some come out of fear, others out of excitement. You stand before the judge. Witnesses speak against you. A neighbor claims you cursed his crops. Another says you sent an illness into her home. Even your own relatives may testify, because fear forces them to save themselves. There is no lawyer to defend you. No real evidence. Only fear, rumor, and your own tortured confession. The verdict is certain before the trial even begins. You are declared guilty. Your punishment depends on where you live. In some parts of Europe, witches are hanged. In others, they are burned alive at the stake. Either way, the message is the same. You are an enemy of God, and your death will purify the community. The morning of your execution arrives. Guards march you through the village. Crowds gather on both sides. Children whisper. Men shout insults. Women cross themselves, terrified that your gaze could curse them. You feel weak, starving, broken, but the fear inside you is sharp. You know there is no escape. As you approach the place of execution, the smell of smoke and ash fills your lungs. You see the stake or the gallows waiting. You are led to the center of the square. The air is heavy. The smell of pitch and wood is strong. The crowd has gathered. Hundreds of people pressed close, waiting. Some are silent, others whisper. A few pray out loud, begging for protection from your supposed powers. You stand before the stake, the rough wood scraping your back. Your hands are bound tightly. The rope cuts into your wrists. The priest steps forward. He offers you one last chance. Confess again, repent, beg for mercy. You whisper words of prayer, though your voice shakes. But mercy will not save you. The sentence has already been written. The executioner lights the pyre. Flames leap to life at your feet. At first it is only heat, then smoke fills your lungs. You cough, choke, and struggle against the ropes. The crowd watches. Some cry, some cheer, some turn away, but no one helps. For them, this is justice. For you, it is agony. As the fire climbs higher, your mind drifts. You think of your family. You think of the quiet mornings in your cottage. You think of the life that has been stolen. And then slowly, the smoke and the flames overwhelm you. Your life ends there, consumed in fire. The execution is not just punishment, it is theater. The town speaks of it for weeks. Parents warn their children, do not disobey, or you will end up like the witch. The priest uses your death as a sermon, proof that the devil lurks in every corner. Your body is gone, but your name lingers and whispers. Your family may be shunned, your home abandoned. The fear lives on. You are not the only one. Across Europe in the 1600s, tens of thousands face the same fate. From Germany to Scotland, from France to Poland, witch trials fill the courts. Why? Because the 1600s are an age of fear. Fear of religion. Wars between Catholics and Protestants tear the continent apart. Fear of disease. Plagues sweep through towns, killing thousands. Fear of famine. Crops fail, winters bite hard, and hunger gnaws at entire villages. When people are powerless, they search for someone to blame, and witches become the perfect scapegoat. Books like the Malleus Maleficarum, the Hammer of Witches, are spread across Europe. They teach how to spot a witch, how to question her, how to destroy her. Signs could be anything: a birthmark, a scar, a cat in your home, or simply being different. These books give authority to fear, and they justify the cruelty that follows. Most of those accused are women, especially women who are poor, old, unmarried, or outspoken. In a world where women are expected to be silent, obedient, and invisible, anyone who steps outside the role becomes a target. Midwives, healers, widows, all are vulnerable. Being independent is dangerous. Having knowledge of herbs is dangerous. Even living too long is dangerous because society looks for excuses, and your very existence can become the reason. It is not just officials or priests driving the hunts. It is neighbors, friends, and even family. A simple quarrel can turn deadly. Disputes over land, inheritance, or reputation often end with an accusation of witchcraft. People accuse others to protect themselves. Better to point the finger than to risk being accused. The hunts feed on fear, and fear spreads like wildfire. By the late 1600s, some voices begin to question the madness. Scholars argue that the evidence is weak. Judges doubt the confessions taken under torture, and gradually skepticism spreads. Trials become fewer. Executions slow down, but the scars remain. In some places, witch hunts continue into the 1700s, even the 1800s, and in every case, it is the powerless who suffer most. For you, life as a witch in 1600s Europe is not really about magic. It is about power, about fear, about how society treats those on the margins. You are not a sorceress. You are not a servant of the devil. You are a woman trying to survive in a world that sees you as expendable. Your story is tragic, but it is also revealing. It shows how dangerous fear can be when mixed with authority. It shows how entire communities can turn against their own. And it shows how quickly ordinary life can end in fire and smoke. Centuries later, your death is remembered as part of history's darkest chapters. The word witch still carries echoes of fear, but also strength. Modern culture reimagines witches as symbols of independence, rebellion, and resilience. But in your time, the 1600s, being called a witch is a death sentence. And for you, it is the final chapter of your life.